Racing on Wednesday takes place out at Hollywoodbets Durbanville, and as things stand, it looks to be a day where we will have a double header of racing in South Africa. Hollywoodbets Greyville, that is taking place on the Poly track, and then we've got Hollywoodbets Durbanville on Wednesday, the 31st of July. Joining me on the line is Graham Hawkins, and Graham, how are you doing?
All good, thank you, Rahil. Yes, more changes, time changes, a few distance changes, a course venue change from Kenilworth to Durbanville. It's all happening down in the Western Cape, but they're doing their absolute best to keep the show on the road.
Well, the three features on the afternoon are the Winter Country Championship 1600 final, Winter Country Championship 1000 final, and Winter Country Championship 1400 final. So those are the three features on the afternoon. It is a car that you can go narrow in certain legs, but some of the races look to be trappy, and we'll go through it in a moment. Race number 1, 25 past 12, the off time, 1250 meters the distance. It is a juvenile plate that will get the day started for us, and we've got just one scratching at time of recording. That is off number 3, Surge of Power. Favorite number 9, Handsome Prince at 18 to 10, Rattlesnake at 22 to 10, 4 to 1 About Worldly, 11 to 2 We Have Touchdown, and then it's 8 to 1 and Better Bar Those. Now, Graham, one horse that interests both you and I is number 6, Empire State, at 20 to 1 in the market. He did run last week, but he was a horse that caught the eye when finishing second.
Yes, he ran second behind Please Be True on debut. That was a fine effort. And Please Be True, of course, won nicely himself, but Empire State certainly caught the eye. I'm sure that he will shorten in the market, but this is a race for winners. It is a juvenile plate, and it is a competitive race. 9 Handsome Prince we haven't seen since February, so we have to take his fitness on trust, but he certainly brings some nice form into the race. He showed terrific potential back in January when running third behind Little Ballerina, and prior to that beating Talk to the Master. So Handsome Prince is obviously one for the future. He might just need this run. He runs from the worst draw of all, but it's a smallish field. Richard Faree takes the right for Justin Snay, so he could certainly make a winning comeback. We've mentioned Empire State, and a couple of these horses that ran last week might just have an edge in the fitness department right through the card. Rattlesnake from pole position seems to be a very nice sort. Turbo 20 ran third behind We Have Touchdown, and second in that race was the subsequent winner, Please Be True, so that form line has been franked. Worldly is a winner, and We Have Touchdown, of course, won last time out. So there's a lot of form to go around, Rahil. It's not an easy start. It all depends on whether Handsome Prince is fit, ready, and raring to go to win first up after quite a long absence from the track. Candice Bass Robinson holds a strong hand with all of Rattlesnake, Turbo 20, as well as number 6, Empire State. But you and I agree, it's going to be interesting to see how Empire State follows up from his promising debut last week.
Moving along to race number 2 next up, which will be the start of the bipot at 1 o'clock. And the second race, the distance is 1400 meters. This is a maiden juvenile plate where your favorite is horse number 13, Aristotle, at 15 to 10. Number 5, Stated, at 33 to 10. 9 to 2 About number 3. It's 8 to 1 and Better Bar Those. Now, Aristotle, he's got a deep draw to contend with, but he's definitely going to have a big winning chance in this contest. And you've got horse number 3, who is a horse that I think will be suited to the step up to 1400 meters. And he, along with Stated, could run huge races.
There's no doubt that Aristotle is the one to beat. When he ran second to All Out for 6, that was a good run. In that race, Sound of the Sea finished third and subsequently came out to win last week. So again, that form has now been franked further. If Aristotle was better drawn, I would imagine he would be shorter in the market. So he does have his work cut out from the outside gate, but I think he is a worthy favourite. But you're absolutely right. Number 3, Joueur de Flute, has the advantage of a better draw, is coming along the right way, and he'll make his presence felt. And of course, Stated, who is stable companion to Aristotle, is also better drawn. His form is good. He's had many chances already as a 2-year-old. This will be his 7th outing on the very last day of the season. So he's had many chances to already shed his maiden ticket, but he's there and thereabouts. Some improvement perhaps to come from number 7, unsung hero. But despite the deep draw, I am expecting number 13, Aristotle, to get the job done. Joueur de Flute will be running at them late. I think he's still showing signs of being a bit of a green horse. Of course, he's never raced at Hollywoodbets Durbanville before. This will be his first time out at country track. And I believe that ultimately he's going to want a little further. So for me, fairly confident first choice, number 13, Aristotle, to beat her, number 5, Stated, and number 3, Joueur de Flute. This is the first leg of the bipod. I'm not expecting an upset result.
Aristotle, a horse that has been held in high regard from Team Snake, and they'll be hoping that he can put his best foot forward despite that deep draw. Moving along to race number 3 next up, which will be the start of the place accumulator. 13:35 the off time. It is a juvenile plate for fillies over the 1600 meter trip, and here we've got a very all-order favourite in the form of number 8, Pentalina, and she's trading at 3-10. Number 9 is at 4-1, and then it's 14-1. And better ball those. Scratch numbers 2, 3 and 10, and it's a field of just 7 runners that remain. But all in here with number 8, Pentalina, Graham.
You have to be. This is her race to lose. She has a form update. Obviously, she ran second last week when favourite on that occasion as well. Run out of it in the closing stages by Bella Vista. So she's certainly not lacking in the fitness department. She's now had the benefit of a run at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. Quite frankly, she has to be a place accumulator banker, obviously, and a bipod banker. We would be shocked. I'd be shocked if she gets beat here.
Yeah, all in Pentalina, and it looks to be her race for the taking. Moving along to race number 4 next, and this will be at 2, 1250 meters the distance. A maiden plate for the fillies and mares. The start of the pick 6, and you need to get those pick 6 bets on by 2. Favorite number 6, Pretty Precious, at 18-10. 9-2 about number 4, Little Susie. Spoil Yourself is at 11-2. It's then 7-1 and better ball those. An important scratch in here, number 13, My Sensation, is out, and that filly would have been the horse to beat in this contest, but she's not taking a part, and it leaves the race wide open for a number of these horses to perhaps put their hand up. But the one that sort of leads the pack here on form is number 6, Pretty Precious, although it has been 120 days rather since her last run.
Yes, she has been absent for a while. She has been nominated, accepted. As you know, we've lost a lot of race meetings, so she's not been off the track by choice. And on form, she's a standout bet in what is this, the opening leg of the pick 6. It's a maiden plate for fillies and mares over 1250 meters. The amended off time is 2. So for me, she is an obvious pick 6 banker, given that the biggest dangers all appear to be first-timers. Number 4, Little Susie, beautifully bred by Trippy out of a Met winner. The stable suggests she'll need further, but she could have class on her side, and she's nicely drawn in gate 4, Little Susie. Then the other first-timers in this race, number 11, Cor van Draat, number 12, Kamchatka, could be anything on debut. But from a pick 6 point of view, obviously bearing in mind the first-timer rule, I think you have to go all in with number 6, Pretty Precious. Her form is far superior to the balance of the field. 1 or 2 might be able to improve, but I think she'll get the job done, and her biggest threats are the first-timers. Maybe watch the market as we get closer to the opening leg of the pick 6, but from a form point of view and from those that have run point of view, I'm pretty confident that number 6, Pretty Precious, will come out on top. It's obviously always possible that she could be beaten by one of the first timers, but from a pick 6 point of view, that won't matter.
I think a horse like number 1, Bright Gold, could be one to include into a bet like the Exact Day. I think there could be some improvement to come from this daughter of Gold Standard, stepping up in trip, which will suit her a lot better than the 5 furlongs, and maybe she could make the necessary improvement to run into the money. Race number 5 next, and this is an open maiden over the 1000 meter trip. 14:45 is the off time, and when we have a look at the 5th race on the card, your favorite is number 7, Captain West, at 14-10. Maneki Neko is at 3-1. Lucy Rocket, to offer some nice value, is at 6-1, and then it's 14-1 and better ball those. Number 3, Approach Shot, is the scratch in here, and it's a field of 13 runners that remain. But Graham, Lucy Rocket, you like a bit of this filly?
Yes, she's one of my each-way selections for the card. I haven't gone with any of the exotic bets. When we get to my suggested bet slide at the end of the show, you will see that I've suggested Aristotle a win, Lucy Rocket each way in this race, and another each-way selection later on at an attractive price. Now, Lucy Rocket finished third behind one liner last time out. Walk With Me's come out of that form line to win last week. Just to make mention that the distance of this race has been reduced from 1,100 meters to 1,000 meters, and that's another factor that could be in her favor. But it should also be in the favor of number 7, Captain West, the favorite, the 2-year-old son of One World. Giving weight away to Lucy Rocket. He's had 2 very promising runs. Both of those were over 1,200 meters. In both of those, he showed a lot of pace. He was a beaten odds-on favorite last time out. So stepping back to the 1,000 meters, that could well be in Captain West's favor. Maneki Neko, well, he's been in the maidens a long time now. He's having 11th crack at shedding his maiden ticket. He has been placed at Hollywoodbets Durbanville, so going back in his form lines, you'll see that he has some experience of racing at the country course, and that could stand him in good stead. And he will win one of these days, and tomorrow could be the day, Wednesday could be the day, but I do prefer Lucy Rocket and Captain West. Interesting newcomer is number 11, What Again, 2-year-old son of What a Win, who's a half-brother to Do It Again. The indications are that he'll need this first run and possibly further. So Captain West is probably my first choice, Rahil, but I think there's a lot of value to be had with number 4, Lucy Rocket. She's definitely in the reckoning. Obvious respect for Maneki Neko. So from a pick 6 point of view, I think you probably got to throw those 3 in: 4 Lucy Rocket, 7 Captain West, and 10 Maneki Neko. Hard to find anything else. There might be some improvement to come from number 6, Let It Be Said. The 2-year-old son of Vercingetorix showed absolutely nothing on debut back in June, but 2-year-olds can improve suddenly. He's got a beautiful pedigree. So number 6, Let It Be Said, there was absolutely no support for him on debut. He might be able to improve, but we'll have to sit on the fence with him and see how he goes here. 1,000 meters could be on the sharp side for him as well. So 4, 7, and 10 for the pick 6. Watch the market as far as number 11, What Again, is concerned. But here again, I'm not really expecting an upset result. I do think Lucy Rocket will give us a nice run for our money at a big price, but Captain West might be hard to peg back.
4 and 7, 2 possible horses that you can play around, but number 10 is the one that could be coming or looking to upset the party. Race number 6 next, and this is the Winter Country Championship 1000 final over the 5 furlongs. 20 past 3 is the off time. It is the start of Jackpot 2. Your favorite in race number 6 is number 6, She's My Captain, at 9-2. Major Apollo is at 5-1. Palo Queen 5-1. Swift Action at 6-1. And then it is 7-1 and Better Bar Those. Now, Graham, despite the fillies holding the edge when it comes to the best weighted column, Swift Action and Major Apollo are 2 horses that arrive in very good form, and they could play a serious role here.
No doubt about it, Rahil. In fact, when this race was due to be held at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth, I was firmly in the camp of number 3, Swift Action. His form is good. But now, of course, the race meeting has switched to Hollywoodbets Durbanville. He's never raced there before. I'm not saying it will affect him negatively. We're just not sure. But clearly, number 3, Swift Action, is a big runner. And for me, the one they all have to beat. Number 5, Major Apollo, has the experience of running previously at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. If you go back in his form line to October and November last year, in fact, he won his maiden at Hollywoodbets Durbanville when beating Gravity. His recent form is good, so the track switch is not going to be a problem for number 5, Major Apollo. Certainly not a problem also for number 6, She's My Captain. She's got a form line update. She ran 3rd last week, beaten the length of the quarter by Philosophize. That was over 1,250 meters. I don't think it's a problem for her to come back to 1,000 meters. She's shown some of her very best form over 1,000 meters. Richard Faree retains the ride. And she is, as you mentioned, as a filly in this race, quite well weighted along with Country Time and Palo Queen. So She's My Captain. She might be the the fittest horse in the race. She raced last week, and that's a big advantage. I don't think that Trippy Silk is going to be course suited or, in fact, distance suited. I think he's better beyond 1,000 meters. Silver Screen could surprise. Palo Queen, obviously, if the race was down the straight as it was scheduled to be at Kenilworth, the draw wouldn't have been that much of a factor, but now drawn out at gate 11 at the country course, that's not in her favour, but she goes well at Durbanville. There's no doubt about that. She's got previous good form at Durbanville. Country Time and Love Shack have got it all to do from the deepest draws in a big field, 14 and 15. Wiley Jack has got some form, but I think he steps up a division here. So it's going to be a competitive race. It's a race that could produce an upset result. It's not quite as cut and dried as the races we have discussed thus far. Swift Action remains my first choice, but there is a question mark about the switch of venue. Certainly, at the very least, you've got to throw in number 5, Major Apollo. You've got to throw in number 6, She's My Captain. If you're looking to go through this leg in the pick 6 and the other exotics like the Jackpot Light, then given the fact that they're all quite well drawn, you might want to limit your selections to 3, 5, and 6. But that being said, Palo Queen 11, Country Time 14, and Love Shack 15 bring good enough form into the race to suggest that they should be competitive, but they do have deep draws to contend with.
6th race on the card looks to be a quartet race. It looks to have quartet written all over it, and perhaps for that first position, 3, 5, and 6 other horses that you can go for first, and then 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Well, it's up to you how you're going to fill out those positions, but could be a nice race to catch a quartet that should be worth a useful dividend. Moving along to race number 7, 15:55, the off time, 1400 meters a trip. This is the Winter Country Championship 1400 final, and your favorite in the 7th race is number 10, Kelp Forest, at 28-10. Number 3, Go Like Flow, is at 4-1, 9-2 about Wugug, 5-1 Montlosier, 7-1 Cabana Lasedi, and then it is 10-1 and Better Ball those. Now, Grammar, this filly, Go Like Flow, if any horse is going to be suited to Hollywoodbets Durbanville, it's her, because she's had 5 runs at the course for 2 wins, a 3rd and a 4th, and given her running style, the shorter run-in will play right into her hands.
There's absolutely no doubt about that. She's gone to the top of my selections now, number 3, Go Like Flow. She loves the course. She's won there a couple of times. I think Andre Nell, the racing team at Andre Nell, must have been really pleased to hear that the meeting had been switched from Kenilworth to Durbanville. Not that she wouldn't have had a chance at Kenilworth. She's been running extremely well there as well. But certainly she loves Durbanville. So now I believe that the one they all have to beat here is number 3, Go Like Flow. She's a filly, a strong galloping filly, as you've mentioned. She likes to go forward. She's drawn nicely. She doesn't lie down easily. And I think that whatever beats number 3, Go Like Flow, will win the race. There are a couple of others worth mentioning. Number 2, Wugug. Number 6, Montlosier. Kevin Alisedi, number 8. And, of course, the very much in form, number 10, Kelp Forest, who's won his last 2 starts. He's in a very good space. He's enjoying the sting out of the ground. He gets the services again of Grant van Niekerk, but he's drawn out a little deep, but he's in a good space. He'll make his presence felt. But given the switch of venue to Hollywoodbets Durbanville, I have to be in the camp of number 3, Go Like Flow. I think she just might out-gallop them all. But Kelp Forest, clearly a danger. Number 6, Montlosier, clearly a danger. And to a lesser extent, perhaps, number 2, Wugug. I guess you could make some kind of a case for Unicorn Alert, some kind of a case for Prevalence and Prince of Tibet. But I'm strongly in the camp of number 3, Go Like Flow. But I do have healthy respect for both numbers 10, Kelp Forest, and number 6, Montlosier.
I think at around 4-1 in the market, number 3, Go Like Flow, could be worth a bet on the head. Yeah, I think that this filly could be well placed and well suited to the switch off tracks at least. Race number 8, penultimate race on the program, Winter Country Championship 1600 final. 4:30 is the off time, and the fixed odds betting market have got horse number 6, Fly Futura, at the top at 7-2. Master of Paris is at 4-1, Radicio at 5-1, Steinbeck 11-2. Chavut 8-1, and then it is 10-1 and Better Ball those. Now, Graham, race number 8 looks to be one of the tougher races on the program, and a race where you really need to look for cover in the exotics.
It is a very competitive race made even more so by the switch of venues. Number 2, Master of Paris. If you go back to the 10th of October last year, he won at this course, albeit in a very modest maiden when beating 12 Valente, who's done very little to frank that form. But Master of Paris is holding his form nicely. He's drawn in gate 2, and the fact that he's won at the course, that's clearly an advantage. 1 touchdown. Disappointing last run after finishing second behind Kariaku in his previous outing, but he could be surprise material. Steinbeck ran on very nicely last time out. Perhaps the switch to Durbanville is not absolutely in his favour. Chavut likes to go out there and make the running, and this type of track suits those tactics. He ran a great race behind Prime Venture last time out, signalling a return to form. Of course, he's never been the most consistent around, but if he confirms the form shown in his last start, then he should be a player. Ignatius always has the ability to surprise. Fly Futura is my top choice. I think he is a worthy favourite, and he has good form at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. He ran second behind Prime Venture there, ran second behind Call to Unite. That was back in October, November last year. Obviously, we haven't raced much at the country course, so you've got to go searching back in the form lines to find the kind of form that these horses might have shown at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. And then number 10, Radicchio, number 9, All About Ronnie. 10, Radicchio is interesting, steps up to 1,600 metres as he did last time when running fourth to Nevada King. He's always shown his best form, perhaps over 1,400 metres, but with the services of Richard Ferree, he might be able to get home here despite slightly negative draw. So yeah, it is a tough race. As you've said, it's one of the harder races on the card. I do think that number 6, Fly Futura, will give you a good go for your money, and I do think that both that number 2, Master of Paris, and number 3, Steinbeck, are alive, although I would have preferred Steinbeck at Kenilworth, and Radicchio has got to go into the play as well.
Race number 9, the final race on the day, 5:05, the off time, 1,600 metres a trip. It's an open maiden for the fillies and mares, and your favourite is horse number 4, Charlotte Bronte, at 3-1. It's 33-10 about number 8, English Mistress, State Capital, 11-2. It's 6-1, We Have a Situation, 7-1, Sansa Stark, and then it is double figure odds about the balance. Charlotte Bronte, Graham, well bred. She's certainly no Charles Dickens, but could she get it right in the lucky last at Hollywoodbets Durbanville on Wednesday?
This is a very open race. I can't be confident about number 4, Charlotte Bronte. Clearly, she's coming along the right way, but ever so slowly. She's not making rapid improvement. She's just staying there and thereabouts. She keeps one interested. But yes, she's certainly no Charles Dickens, but she's going to be a very, very valuable broodmare one day. Let's talk about number 3, Lucky 13. I think it's currently at around 25-1. Don't forget, guys, that this round at Hollywoodbets Durbanville over 1,400 metres, goes 200 metres further, was flying home behind Protect the Dream when third, beaten 2 1/4 lengths. Now, she's only got 52.5 on her back. She runs from a decent draw. Last time out, when she ran on from the back of the field to run third, she was drawn 12 out of 12. So number 3, Lucky 13, yes, she is what she is, but this is an open maiden. She's got no weight. She's a big price. She ran third last week. She's a very fit filly. And interestingly, when she ran third, number 10, Sansa Stark, ran 7th. So Sansa Stark is 7-1 in the market, finished behind Lucky 13 last time out. So I'm sure that the speculators are going to get into number 3, Lucky 13, win, lose or draw, because the price is wrong. I do like a filly here. It could be tough for her because this is an open maiden and has to shoulder top weight. This is my next each-way selection for the card. Number 7, Lavender Bay, I think is going to improve. I expected more from her last time, to be honest. I was slightly disappointed, but she's a smart-looking filly. She's got a lovely pedigree. The stable is in good form, and I think that number 7, Lavender Bay, needs to go into all of your play. English Mistress is well exposed. They've tried her over a variety of distances. She could obviously win a race of this nature. She does have 60 kilograms to shoulder, so she's conceding 7.5 kilograms to the likes of number 3, Lucky 13. Sansa Stark, like English Mistress, very well exposed. State Capital, this could be the lurker in the pack. 53 kilograms, wide draw to overcome. Raced against the boys behind Quite a King, but against in a race of this nature back in May. She was second to St. Bridget, and on that kind of form, she's got many of these held. We have a situation is improving, has the worst of the draw to overcome. So for me, Raheel, it's a very trappy contest. I'm going with number 7, Lavender Bay, as a suggested each-way bet, but you could make the same comment. And certainly, I've already had an each-way play on number 3, Lucky 13, at the odds that are currently on offer, because if she steps up from that improved last run with a better draw with only 52.5 on her back, she could be a factor. But there are no good things in this race. You could argue that Charlotte Bronte, an English mistress, and State Capital set the standard, but the race is ripe for an upset result.
It certainly does look to be that way. And 2 value selections here, 3 and 7. Those could be real nice horses that you include in the exotics. If they are to arrive, well, those exotics are going to be worth an awfully lot more. We're going to move along to the suggested bet now. And Graham will take us through his suggested bet for the race meeting at Hollywoodbets Durbanville on Wednesday. As he mentioned, no exotics. He's got 3 horses that he likes on the day. And Graham, take it away.
Yeah, clearly, I mean, exotics could be the way to go, because there are a couple of races where you can go narrow, but obviously we record on the morning of the day prior, and there may still be further scratchings, etc. So you've got to keep an eye on the changes. But I'm going with Aristotle as a win bet in race 2. Race 2, number 13, Aristotle is my win bet. My each way selections for the day: race 5, number 4, Lucy Rocket at around 6-1. And then in the 9th race, number 7, Lavender Bay at around 10-11-1 currently on offer. But I do suggest you also have an interest in number 3, Lucky 13, in the 9th and final race. It's the kind of race where we could get that upset we spoke about. So I'm treading cautiously at this early stage. Of course, I will start to finalise my exotics as we get closer to race time, when we know all the changes, we know what the weather conditions are looking like, because it is a race where there are a couple of legs. If all the runners stand their ground, if Pentalina stands her ground, she looks one out in that race and is a clear and obvious banker in all exotics. But at 3-10, you certainly can't go in on the nose.
Graham, thanks very much. Have a wonderful week ahead.
Thank you, Raheel. See you soon. Cheers for now.
Thanks to Graham Hawkins, and all the best with racing on Wednesday out at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. Hopefully you managed to find a few winners on the card.